Hey folks, Creedmoor Fury. I'm out here in the garden, and sorry about that noise. That's my kid leaving in his loud truck. And I'm actually see if that works better. I'm actually down here to pull my bush beans. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the noise. Down here, pull my bush beans, and I just wanted to show that one of my practices is to actually cut the bush beans pretty much right at the surface. We're going to compost this. I'm going to take whatever beans are left over. I'm going to compost this, and I'm leaving the root in the ground. The root's going to return some of the nutrients to the soil. This area was an area we excavated some of the soil out so I could use as donor soil or surrogate soil for crops that I planted this spring. And as such, it was more or less devoid of some of the best components. So this made this area a great place to do the bean crop. I did the bean crop. We've discussed this year's bean crop before. I've got some videos I'll publish if I haven't already. I'll make sure I get everybody caught up. But the main intent is to grow this crop in soil that is not necessarily inundated with nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium. Not necessarily to grow it in one of those spots where it's really, really rich. But beans like to grow in almost infertile soils. The only thing that I use to fertilize these with is bone meal. I do not use fish emulsion. I do not use anything else of that sort. It's basically just that. A bone meal application is made once, maybe twice in the season, and everything else is just harvest. It gets the nitrogen from the air. It gets the nitrogen from places that other plants don't have access to. It utilizes bacteria and mycology within the soil to facilitate this process, and this stuff is moved and sequestered to nodes in the roots and around the roots in certain parts of the stem. So when I leave the root in the ground, this in particular, this chemistry is returned to the soil. I want to do that because I want the soil to be biologically active, and in order for that to happen, it needs other things to free it. If I take it away and I put it in the compost pile, it might happen there, but it doesn't happen here, and I'm looking to enrich this zone in the most natural way. I'm not looking to have to put NPK all over this place. I'm not looking to have to feed the life into it. I want the life to come into it in its most natural way. I handle my strawberry patch that way, and I handle this particular bean patch this way. Next season that we grow beans, I will move this to another area because I'll probably take surrogate soils from another area. I'll make myself all of the planting soils and the medias that I need to get my seeds to germinate, and I might need a little extra to put them in the ground, especially if I've got an area that hasn't quite developed. You new Edeners know what I'm talking about. You got plenty of zones that don't have good rich soil. There's no humus layer down below between the earth and where you plant your plants. So that being the case, I like to do this because the beans build rich soil. One of the things I might plant down here, I might plant a crop that doesn't necessarily need tons and tons of nitrogen. I may even move my tomatoes over to here, or peppers. I can do that. We really can do that. Those are late season summer crops for us anyway, so this is a really good area to do that in, and the benefits are already evident. So, you know, I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what I got going on. And you can see here, I'm going to show you down low, right there you can see that's where it was cut off, so the root is still in place. Right here you can see it seeping a little bit of moisture. You can tell these were high vitality, growing really, really well. And I'm just going to continue down the row. Here you can see one still there with a bean on it. And all I do is I take my clippers, I snip it. It's kind of tricky to do while you're holding the camera. And looking good, right? A little bit of leftover rust, but it was never enough to kill the plants. It wasn't. We were able to control it. So let me pick another plant, just so that we're entirely clear, because this is it. It's done. This is going to get covered with some fall composted chips that I have laying around, and that's it. So here you have it. I roll the plant over to expose. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I want to expose the stem as it enters the soil. So that's right here where my finger is. I wrap the clippers around it. I do prefer this style. Since I'm often pruning grapes and things, this works really well for me. I don't like the side cut type because when I get into something tough, they tend to bend around and then they stay permanently bent. this anvil style works really well. So those get put into the pile just like that. As you can see, I got a pile of about 7 or 8 plants here, maybe more. And we just continue on down the row. That was clipped down, almost can't even see it, down right here, just at soil level. So look at that. I cover that up. That might grow. Cover that up. There's another one. And we're ready to roll. So when I put a layer of composted wood chips over the top of this, basically just going to be to level it off, give it a fresh lay of wood chips, because there are quite a few vital nutrients in those wood chips. I can look down here. Maybe if I get in close, you might be able to see there's some pill bugs at work. That's common in new wood chip lays. It's common. But it's not an inundation. And never once did these pill bugs become a problem. I'd like to consider what we do here as management, custodianship, and all with the main focus on creating a permaculture environment that you can utilize over and over and over again, season after season. So we give back what we take. We're always adding. Very rarely are we removing, unless we're talking about removing the fruits of our labor. Look in here, folks. I mean, who does this? Who terminates a crop that's producing like this? I have to. Mama said go, I gotta go. But anyway, y'all get the gist. I'm going to take all these beans too. They're not just going to go to compost. Even though she doesn't want them, I got to take them. I might give them to somebody. You know, it's wasted food if I don't. Hey, here comes a neighbor now. With a basket, with a bucket. He probably wants some. All right, Creedmore's out.